Let's talk about saunas, something completely unique and a little bit unorthodox. Stick with me. Okay, this is a review of the new Morzh Sauna. Now, this is the old one. It's awesome. I've had it a year or two, at least 2 winters, and it's phenomenal. I've got it set up in my backyard right now. Snow's coming down today. This is all snow from today, so I figured it's a good day to do a sauna review. And aside from the color, which is awesome because it can double as like a hunting shelter, there's a couple of differences. The old one has this straight zipper, which is okay, but it can the zipper can like flop down into where the stove area is, and it's a little looser material. Maybe that's because it's older, but it's a great shelter. It's just, this can easily bump into your stove when you're coming in and out, so you have to really pay attention to keep it straight and tight. But this new one doesn't have that problem. It's got this like moon or half moon shaped zipper with a flap on top of it. That's really nice. It's keeping the snow out, and it will just kind of fold down and latch right there. So when you're coming and going out of it, the stove right here is clear of all particulates and all craziness. The stove jack's still the same. It's nice because you can close the stove jack, and then once it's closed, it'll keep the snow out if you want to actually use this as a tent, or you can open it and Velcro it to itself, and that keeps that from touching the stove, which gets crazy hot. And this material is designed for it, but this material will melt if it touches it. I've bumped it into it short amounts of time and it hasn't burnt, but if you leave it there long enough, it'll melt because it's got plastic and nylon and stuff in it. So I'm really digging the color. That's legit. All right, so I haven't pulled the floor out of that one. I figure I don't really need it for this little bit because I'm on a bunch of rocks. And I'm gonna fire this thing up and use it. So let's get this fire started. Got some pine fire, man, if I could talk. Pinefireshop.com, pine fire stuff. You should check them out. They work great. I'm gonna use more than I need. But these little dudes are some sort of natural material infused with pine sap. And I haven't really made a lot of tinder or kindling in this. So I'm just gonna light it. Put the rest of this in there. This is that powdery stuff. And I'm pretty darn sure that's gonna just be more than enough to keep it going. Make a little pile there. Check out that knife. I got that from the if I can talk again, the Topakala from Finland. It is a Finnish puukko. So pretty. A hunting knife from Finland. Doesn't get any better than that. Good thing to do with all that extra newspaper you didn't ask for that you get in the mail is to stick it in your sauna. Make it your fire starters. See if I can slam one more in there or not. Yeah, she's gonna fit. The interesting thing about this stove is there's a lot of space right up on top. So if you stick it in there, stick one at a big 45-degree angle so there's an air pocket underneath. Stick your kindling underneath there and then just kind of ram the stuff up top. This grate underneath here, which is this guy, will allow a ton of air. You can hear that rocketing through. It'll allow a ton of air to get into your fire. And then this thing gets super hot quick. It gets way faster. It gets hot way faster than any house sauna I've ever messed with. Fire sauna for the win. Those doors are amazing. Check that out. There's some double door on there. See what that does. Oh, that's for the rigid pole. I couldn't figure out what this is for, but now I know. I'm gonna go put that in real quick. I'm a dummy, I didn't get what this extra pole was for, but there's an extra pole that goes in this zipper right here. Went in pretty easy. And that makes like an actual legit solid door, right? Let me unzip that in there. Ooh, I can feel the heat coming out of it already. Look at that. I bet you don't even have to zip it. Nope. Yeah, that's freaking brilliant. That's just awesome right there. So you just walk up and be like, let my people go. And you're done. Yeah, that's 1,000 times better than this other one. Legit. All right, I gotta get the hose set up because I'm gonna sit in the sauna. Cannot believe the snow. It's coming down that fast. I'm gonna sit in the sauna and then I gotta let my kids hose me off, you know, because that's awesome. So let's get to this. This new door is just awesome. Like, that is just super cool. So we can dry that log out. Okay, while that fire is going, let's talk about a sauna for just a second. So a friend of mine from Finland informed me years ago that the Finnish military, whenever they travel, they take saunas with them to include places like Iraq and Afghanistan. And I got thinking, why in the world would you want that kind of heat in a place that's that kind of hot? And then as I dug into it and did a little more research and just learned about the benefits of sauna, everything from endorphin releases to high heart rates akin to running, training, to feeling like you just ran for 20-30 minutes hard, to heat shock proteins and cold shock proteins, I kind of realized this is something that I want on the regular. And I'm getting older, and the older you get, the more important recovery is as compared to working out. So I continue to work out. I did a hit followed by back and bis today with heavy lifting for me. And a sauna is about the best recovery I have ever seen. It helps flush out all the junk and sugar and crap that you eat, and then it helps, that you shouldn't eat, that I eat, and then it helps reset. So it pushes lactic acid, uric acid out of the muscles and replaces it with water. It helps me sleep so well, and it just makes me feel good. So that's enough for me to want and have one. If you really want some really good information on saunas, Joe Rogan has a great podcast about it. Just go Google Joe Rogan podcast on saunas, or sauna, if we're going to say it the right way. This Morzh Sauna gives me the opportunity to have it in a mobile capacity. Nothing is cooler than being able to go teach a survival class, or to go over in the mountains camping and fishing with family and set a tent up, especially if you're there for 2 or 3 weeks. Have a hot shower. Essentially, you're hot, you sweat until it's water, that's all that's coming out. Jump in the creek, the river, the snow, whatever, and sleep like a baby. Saunas are amazing. So that's why I have saunas. That's why I'm interested in them. And that's why I got this awesome thing. Let me talk about this one real quick. For those of you that didn't see my other video, I took one of these up into the Uintas a year or two ago, and I've been using it on the regular in my backyard and when I go camping and stuff, and jumped in the lake with it, and it was pretty stinking awesome. But this is an upgrade. Mainly this door is just awesome. There's a rigid pole in it, so it works like an actual door. It's got a little flap right here, which is nice to keep the snow out. And that's all you have to do to close it. It'll hold itself shut. You can zip it if you really want it to lock down, but I'm just leaving it loose. It's got a window right here, which is cool. So if you don't have any skivvies on, you can put this down. But if you want to check on your kids or whatever, you can open that up, look at the wet mess outside, and say, you know what, I'm going to stay in the sauna. That right there is my old sauna that's sitting up in my backyard, and as soon as it dries out, I'm going to put it away. I don't want to put it away wet. Or I'll just go cook my stove in it and get it nice and dry and then put it away. This one I can tell has got a lot of upgrades. It's structurally more sound. The door is phenomenal. A lot of the similar build, and it's camouflage. So you could use this as a hot tent. I would probably add a flue in your thing there. And I've got a water container that I'll have to show you. The water setup's really cool because you can put water in it and you can boil the water using the exhaust pipe. And then you can just open up the hose from the water and put it right down on the stove, which gives you steam, like a whole steam room, steam bath, which is very awesome. And there's a vestibule that I've also got on one of the other ones, on my blue one. The vestibule took me a minute to figure out how to set that thing up, but it's really nice to have a changing room or a dry place on the front of the sauna before you go into the actual sauna itself, especially if you have mixed genders, people you don't want to be naked in front of, that kind of thing.
This guy up. The reason I really like the vestibule is it gives you a place to go in and change that's warmer, right?
So here we are in the vestibule. Right there is a window. What's cool about these windows, and I have no stakes in the ground. They send you these really hardcore nice stakes, but they're not assembled yet. But the windows just come right up and you can roll them up. I can't do this with one hand. And then that little toggle will go into that little toggle right there. I usually leave them shut because I'm not always wearing clothes in these things. But that will give you this nice little changing space. You could leave like a rug down or something. And then you can get into your actual sauna area. So anyway, this is the Morzh Sauna. And as soon as we get this fire going, I'm going to cook myself, get me some of those heat proteins, heat shock proteins, cold shock proteins, do the great reset, and then let my kid hose me down with the hose, because that should be silly.
There's something zen about that sound.
And I can just hear metal cracking, and I can hear drops of something from outside. I'm sure melting all the snow off the outside of this thing. Now I can feel the heat rising right here, and that's gonna create a hot air zone that just forces air in there. It'll suck it in from the little vent, and then that'll just speed it up and it'll get faster and faster and faster. Get this log dried out, and then I can throw it in on the mix. I just realized how goofy these things look. Basically, I wear this to keep the tips of my ears from burning when it gets hot, or if I've got headphones or some music, whatever, I'll just tuck this down. Keeps you from getting too burnt. This part of your body can sweat and release the heat, but like your ears and whatever can't handle the heat. And if it gets way too hot, just get a shirt or whatever, put it over your mouth and breathe through it. Okay, it's time to go out and get hosed off. Better with rocks, but how many rocks? Woo. Steam it good. What's up, buddy? You ready? Okay, should we go out and do it? Okay. Grab that hose. Make sure it's warm when I get back. Get me with it. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Okay, let me see it for a sec. Hold that. You hold a little hat. Woo! That's cold, bud. Is that awesome? Good thumbs up. Woohoo! Another 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm golden. I walked over through this tree, and the snow blew and just completely dumped on me. It was freezing. I wish I would have had the camera. That feels great. Thanks, dude. You can go watch your show. That is beautiful. Okay, final thoughts on the sauna. It's really cool to have a portable sweat lodge, sauna, wet dry sauna that you can take camping or car camping, or in my case on survival classes. We'll do survival classes for 2 or 3 or 4 days, and then people get done and they're stinky and sweaty and smell bad, and you stick them in a sauna, let them wash off, go sit in a river, put dry clothes on, and it's just like hitting a hard reset. It is phenomenal. So if you want one of these, they're Morzh, M-O-R-Z-H, morzh.eu. They double as a ice fishing thing, a hunting tent, something robust or whatever. They're not made to be left out permanently, but that one back there has been in my backyard for 2 seasons, okay? So they can take a lot of use. That is a ton of use. The color slightly changed of blue, that's it. So if you want something robust, whoo, it's getting hot again. And a sauna that you can use on the regular when you go in the backcountry. Check these guys out. They're pretty awesome. All right, guys, hopefully that's valuable to you. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below. I'm gonna finish cooking and go eat some food.